Is a Liberian. He was born 1956, August 6, in Liberia. Nima Kande to be specific place of the edition number 9. The councillor is married with 3 children. We don't know. Fellow listener, if you are from Nigeria County, Lofa County, Apollo, Magibi, and all other counties within Liberia, this is a poor little lawyer. He is down to earth. Consider Tawan S. Bungalow. He is here to help us. He loves human beings.
One. Demo consider test I want to go and I'm not a blessing you. Obrobi, and I don't give a coach again. To Yaro on in you blow. To Yaro in you practice so. So la Pirano, I'm until I get book point. We are going over again consider S. Mongolepo. Say, why are you blessing to blow the knee? I'm a guy you blow the year. Put up the same as what they need. So much thing on the airport. All I do, I want to. You will have you bring you. Eddie. You will have you I'm blessing for that general. Look at blood, look at blood, movement, and Daniel. It's all the water. Cancer and no blood, Anadio, Yagabel, Yagadio, Yable, Indiana. I want you back on you. Councillor, what else go?
Oh, you play by Grand Dublier. You're not saying go. I'm the only say go. You're not saying go. I'm the only say go. You're not saying go. I'm the only say go. Tiawana yo. Tiawana go yo. La piano me tiawana yo. You're not saying go. Well, let me welcome you to the Bazaar Premier Program, the segment that we have developed in favor of one of the presidential candidates, considered Tiawanse Gonglo of the Republic of Liberia. We are expecting a lot of folks from Liberia to be phoning in today, and also we are expecting some folks from Boston
and some people will be coming from a long time to be on this platform. This platform is going to be one of the best that you might have, been waiting to hear that. But let me set the standard first. I want to welcome Margaret Gia that is watching us from Texas. Paul Quemley is watching us from Philadelphia. Ambassador Gordon Garlett Gray, who is the chairperson of Kokpa B. Wowo for Councilor Tiawan Gonglo in Grand Bassa County, and Amos Daniel Bataman from Monroe is watching us here. We want to say to you, one thing I want you to do for us is to share. Just keep pressing your share button to all the people in your contact. We are talking about integrity, about selfishness. Today, we will be looking at the door knocking and the touring of Nima Kante by the principal. Many times people have said Gonglo is not known in the political arena. No one knows Gonglo. But you are deceiving yourself, because you know why? This man served as student leader at the University of Liberia. He started teaching at age 27. I just want you to know that. At age 27, he started teaching at the University of Liberia. He served as a special assistant or executive assistant to President Sawyer during the interim government period for over 4 or 5 years. Besides that, he served as, when someone is a labor minister in Africa, he dealt with all the labor cases at various construction plantations. He was traveling to the Kavala in Maryland. He traveled to Basel, Liberia agriculture, everywhere you can. Firestone. He is one of the best human rights lawyers. Human rights lawyers, not corporate. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legal person. Now listen to me. But because we have read a little bit more, we know there's a difference between a corporate lawyer and a human rights lawyer. Corporate lawyer would be like Councilor Vani Sharma, the late Councilor Bronsky, those that will be defending the company or institutions within the various counties, pleading for them if they have issue with their employees. Those are the corporate people, those that deal with profit making. This man has been known as the what? The poor man lawyer. All of the journalists, probably if not all, majority, most of the advocates in Liberia that got into trouble with the government, he stood on their behalf without asking them for a dime, leave alone a kappa or penny. That's the man we're talking about, and you're telling us that he's not known in Liberia. So what you want him to do, or you want him to be on all the newspaper, publicizing himself. This is not the kind of person we're talking about. Somebody who is concerned about the well-being of the commoners, the common people who cannot speak for themselves. People who cannot speak for themselves. That's the person we're talking about here. So I just wanted you to know, okay? I just wanted you to know that this is very, 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 very important. So I want you to understand that Councilor Gonglo is a person that everyone in Liberia knows. He's a public figure. Been a lawyer, he been representing the poor, the rich. Sometimes some people who don't even have a dime, he represented them. And he was a Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, and you still say nobody know him. Our issue in Liberia is not about who knows who. Our issue has been people want to measure people, by their availability at all levels. This is not what we need to do. Beyond that, people want to see when you get money. Majority of our people, and this is not any disrespect to our electorates or to our youthful population. I heard somebody saying one point in time, oh, the money you people collected, you're bringing so we can eat it. Oh, yes? You can eat the money right now. Listen, Liberians, this is our problems. Our problem has been we want to eat. We want to eat right now. Today is the time. You eat today, what happens tomorrow, you don't care. So, with me here and asking you, we have to put aside money. When I say put aside, I'm not saying you don't need money, but you have to elect somebody based on the long term gains. It's not the short term profit. Today you get 100 US dollar, $50 you get 25, you wear t-shirts, you get beggar. After that is, I mean, you are gone. You left with anything when they are elected. In many instances, they will pick a few of their own people who've been close to them, send them to Rwanda, Ethiopia, Kenya to go to school. Majority of you guys who stood in the sun from there you got time, they will never think about you no more. Whether you went to school, whether you eat. Some of you guys who came from the slum, from West Point, they would never say those are Zogos. But you think just to send somebody to Kenya to go to school, is that all you think people need to have? Some people, they are Zogo, but they could be rehabilitated. They could be rehabilitated and be a very important person in the community. But all you wanted from them at that time, you wanted their votes and you got their vote. So now, my advice to you guys, please, for heaven's sake, do not elect somebody because of what you're going to get today. Councillor Gonglo is going to provide the long-term solution. So today, we will be looking at the gains and challenges that Councillor is going through. He been in Nima. He was there at, maybe he will be leaving this week or he left today. He been there for almost 28 days. Non-stop. Door knocking, hitting doors, talking to people in churches, speaking to students, talking to market women, talking to elders, speaking to the youthful population, telling you exactly what he will offer you. You have to be far-sighted. You have to look beyond all other odds. Not because somebody bringing you bag of rice, not because somebody giving you $50 or $25 in your pocket, not because somebody volunteered to build a bridge in your community for the very first time because they want your vote, or for the second time because they want to be re-elected. You go and get into the trap. I'm calling on you. So we will be having our guest joining us very soon. Let me go back to the music and see the people that in the back so I can try if I can get few person on tonight so I can get them on board. So besides this, we will always inform you that we are running our Cash App and our Zelle. You can contribute whatever you have. The people say when you let monkey, you must like the tea. Some of all we like the monkey, we like the tea. So what that means, if you want for Councillor Gonglo to provide the services you need, making sure that inequality, if it is not abolished, is at a bare minimum, making sure that justice is served to the poor and to the rich at all levels, making sure that the police, work of the police will not be interrupted, making sure that your children from 0 to 5 years will go to hospital free, and from 0 to wherever they will go to school at 12th grade level free, and in the nearer future our university will be absolutely free. This is the kind of thing we're talking about, where job creation will be priority number one, because you know what, when you put people to job, you put money in their pocket, they will be able to represent themselves. They will be able to represent themselves. When people can feed themselves, they don't have to go out there and start shouting, "Po, say yo." Because once you can feed yourself, you can do everything for yourself. You don't have to pay dues to politicians to allow you to eat. Today in Liberia or in Africa, majority of the politicians, people are depending on them for the daily subsistence, because you know why? They keep the people in their pocket and they make them poor. They enslave their own people. Let me go back to the music and look back here and see those that have come to join me on this platform. We are going to discuss that too. The second thing we'll be looking at is Councillor Gonglo a formidable candidate. Is he a toughest candidate in this race? I listened to a poll today, and I'm not disputing the results, don't get me wrong. poll results are just, some it's not very empirical. Something people are just assessing and is credible at certain stage, and at certain stage credibility is questionable. Gonglo was at number 3. But what shocked me, only 3% said they could vote for Gonglo in the whole of Liberia. The very first thing is when the poll were connected, who is conducting the poll? Where was the question? How did they design the strategy? So we are aware, but that is not going to dissuade or that's not going to stop us from doing what we're doing. All we know, we are on the side of history. We are supporting a man with credibility. If you want to join this team, today I'm asking you to join us. Let us make Liberia a better place. If better Liberia is possible, this is the agenda we appreciate. Let's go back to studio and join our guys to continue the music while we go to the back in studio and check who is there waiting for us.
Councillor Tiawan S. Gonglo is here for 2023 presidential election.
Iron Lady Records, sweet sound.
Councillor Tiawan is here to reflect our man on Liberia. Liberia is 174 years old, but remains backward and underdeveloped in absolute terms and also in comparison to other African countries that are in fact much younger. Councillor Tiawan S. Gonglo is a Liberian. He was born 1956, August 6, in Liberia, Nima County to be specific, place of district number 9. The councillor is married with 3 children. We don't know. Fellow listener, if you are from Nigeria County, Lofa County, Apolu, Magibi, and all other counties within Liberia, this is a poor-man lawyer. He is down to earth. Councillor Tiawan S. Gonglo. He is here to help us. He loves human beings.
Demo Councillor S. Tiawan Gonglo, I'm not a place in you. Obrobi, and I don't give a coach again. To Yaro on in you, bro. To Yaro in you, Crackle Soso. So, La Pirano, I'm until I get book point. The Aqua boy, I get Councillor S. Gonglo. Say, what are you placing to Obrodi? I'm a guy, your brother here. Bro, they're saying what I did. So, I think I got a book. What I do, I want to. The boy, I only bring you. Lady. So, Yaro, you
Sir David Torja, if you get to me, you have to go back and come back. You're not connected yet. I can see you here, but you're not connected. David Torja, you can go back and come back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the folks are trying very hard to get on the line.
The counselor is married with 3 children.
Well, we are expecting 2 more persons. They are trying to come on.
Is that the only music you got for Gonglo?
Yeah, but you can send me some music. You can send me some, no problem. You can play some from outside if you want to. I can send you one, no problem, Dave. If you want to play another music from your side, I can. Just let me know.
Let me find. Let me see what you think of.
So for those of you that want to join us and you send me your email, I'll send you the link. If you can't get the link, just go on your messenger page. I also send it on your messenger page. I think I have someone here trying to get in here. Away from Liberia, say he didn't see it in his email, but I sent it to you. It's not like an email, it's just a link. And the link, just click on that link. Otherwise, go back to your messenger and you will still see the link like a bird. Look like a bird. Click on that bird and then we direct you here. So that's what I wanted to let you know. We're still expecting our guy from Boston. He get texted me. He said he's coming on. But since Jai is here, we will start the ball rolling right here, and the other people I will be at the back getting them while Jai is going through. Good evening, Jai. Jai, you hearing me?
Live now. Hey, how you doing? I am hearing you.
Okay, good. Now we are expecting two person, one person from Liberia and one person from Boston. This supposed to be joining us. Come again?
Is my transmission delayed? That's how
yeah, but it's okay.
Sounds like.
It's okay. You okay from here? So you here today. So today we waiting for the folks, but I want you to start the ball rolling. What we want to discuss here is the counselor was in Nima. He been in Nima for 28 days plus. Mm-hmm. According to the statistics we got here,
wow.
He traveled and have visited over 57 to 58 communities. I'm not talking about cities. I'm talking about community, how to reach communities. You know Nima better than I do. Mm-hmm. He has reached almost all of the villages that people have dared not to reach when they're going to talk to the community. Do you think the door knocking is making progress, Mr. Jai?
Oh, of course, yes, there is value in giving attention to people and people paying attention to you. And I think these are historical breakthroughs that the counselor is making, especially people that politicians in the past have not been able to reach. And as we've always maintained, that the counselor is a man of the people, so he does not hesitate to go where the people are. And I remember at one point we were talking and he said, it does not matter who invites me where I'm invited. If there are 2 persons or 200 persons, I am prepared to go that direction, to go and meet with the people, because I have a message that is resounding for the Liberian people, and I'm not shy and I'm not afraid to spread that message. So I'm not surprised that the counselor has gone throughout the length and breadth of Nima County. And the thing that is unique about that also is this is the county that he originates from. And he was on his laurels and said, I'm not going to go to Nima because the people of Nima County are my people and they will embrace me. But no, he did not reckon on that and decided that I'm still going to reach out to my people. I'm going to familiarize myself. I'm not going to take advantage of them and think that they should just generically support me. He doesn't believe that. He believes in the respect and the dignity of all human beings. So he decided to go from one town to another, city to city, village to village, town to town. I think this is applause, and this is an enormous effort that he is making, and I am certain that such will pay dividend. You are muted.
That is Side Dave Torja, who is the head of List Space. List Space is one of the auxiliary groups that is supporting the councilor in various counties in Liberia, not even one county, but in various counties. Live space is there. It is actually reaching out to the people. But the discussion here tonight, folks, this is an intervention that we have to, implore. In the past, and even currently as we speak, many people who want to get power, they will prefer for whoever to meet them in the city. They either go to Ganta, they either go to Tapeta, they either go to Seklepie. Is it your phone ringing, Dave? Someone's phone is ringing. Yeah. So people go to Banga, people go to the cities, but now Gonglo have said no. He started in Bon County. Imagine he reached as far as the gold camp, where we have the most vulnerable people working for their living. He went there. When he got to Nimba, areas that people, he traveled from Diara to Tapeta. I know the distance. I work in Tapeta hospital during the Ebola. It's less than 1 hour, 30 minutes. In fact, when I used to take my Pajaro G, would be between 45 minutes to 1 hour would be there. But he took almost 4 hours. This is how bad the roads are. He managed and reached to Tapeta between 7 to 7:30. He told the people, I will meet you tomorrow. This is new to our people. To see a presidential candidate go into the village or community and say, look, I am here to identify with you. I want to explain to you. I do not want you to get it on radio stations. I don't want you to get it from what we call our force soldier, people coming to explain. Myself, I'm here. Yeah, one question. You think we will continue this momentum? And if we continue the momentum, do you think we'll be a toughest candidate in the race?
Yes, I'm sure and I'm hopeful that we will continue the momentum and the momentum the various auxiliary groups continue to maintain that momentum as well. So, our people have a saying that if the Christmas is going to be good, you should observe of the Christmas. So we have not even gone into the campaign season, and our people are on fire. The councillor is willing, he's energetic, and he's making these. He's taking the kick off of familiarizing himself or reintroduce himself to the Liberian people. So I am positive that such a momentum will continue. We will continue to see more of those travels, and also has our various groups in the various counties continue to mobilize and recruit. So this something anything yet, I think is going to become even intensify when the campaign process starts. So yes, it is this momentum that has started. All that it can do is to generate more energy, and it will be empowered by all of us, working together collectively and supporting the better Liberia agenda. So again, it's going to continue, it's going to go unabated, and the council will reach the length and breadth of Liberia, places that people that are accessible, places that are remote. We will continue to reach there because the Liberian matter to the council and to the Gongo movement.
Thank you so much. I want to welcome Aitor Welwen. Aitor Welwen is our new guy. He's a supporter of Councilor Gonglo. I will give him a chance to introduce himself. I reached to him yesterday and we spoke on some other issues, and he promised that he was going to be here today, and he's here on time. So Aitor, can you unmute your mics? Okay, good. Okay, so Aitor is from Boston. Aitor, good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay. Tell us briefly about yourself.
Okay, my name is Arthur Welwin. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, actually. Uh, from Maggie County. Was born in Maggie County. Lived there through worked for Bristol Firestone. Um, of course, I went to school in early school in Firestone through the junior high, Firestone scholarship through high school and college. Worked for Firestone as a senior accountant up to the time that I migrated to the U.S. Worked with a couple of organizations. I currently work with the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta as a senior examiner, case manager. I'm also an instructor within the Federal Reserve Examiner Commission program, which is nationwide of all 12 Federal Reserve districts. I heard about Councilor Gonglo a while ago in one of the meetings that I was attending of the Bassa Association. But prior to that, I've heard, basically as poor man lawyer, always advocating for the poor people who didn't have a voice or who didn't have money to be represented in court. I've heard a couple of good things about him until someone spoke about him in the meeting. But then I've now had an opportunity to know what has been going on until he reached out to me yesterday, and I said, okay, I'll be interested in coming on and listening. I think from what I've heard about him, he's somebody that is worthy of my support. I don't care how many persons are behind him. If I believe in him, I'm willing to work together with you and the others to create some awareness. And that's why I'm on today. But thank you so much for the invite. I think you're on mute.
This is not about me. This is not about me as a person. This is not about Otto. This is not about Ja. It is about our generation unborn. What we have been experiencing back in Liberia, when people are coming to be elected, that's the time they try to bid for the votes. And our people living in abject poverty, I'm sorry to say that it's not disrespect to anybody. Myself, I sustain that process when I was back home. They have no option. The only option they have is to just join the boat. And anyone who gives in $20, $10, $15 buy them bag or give them t-shirt. What happened after the short term? They don't care. For us, we are looking at long-term solution. So I would like to go back to Ja because I have to bring in Dr. Doe very quickly. But I want to go to Ja. After we are here today discussing two important issues. Probably since you have not been involved in the Gongo movement, you did not want him going to Nimba. He been to Bon. The new strategy right now is a presidential candidate not only stopping in the city, but going to the village, telling the people, look, I am the one you're supposed to vote for. I will send my 4 soldiers later on, but I'm here to discuss the issue. So it is so new. I heard him say he was going to be in Norwood. I know the distance. It's not something that you can easily travel. He walking, he taking motorbike, he crossing on the law. This is a man who want to reach the people. So we want to take this discussion at another level. And the level we want to take it to is we want to take it to our people, those that have been marginalized. You can't have Liberia where you have only 1,000 plus person enjoying the wealth of the country, and then out of 5 million people, the rest of the people are living in abject poverty. But thank you for coming. Let me go back to Dave very quickly. Dave, I want you to tell us. You watch the video from maybe Tapeta Ganta. People say no one knows Councilor Gonglo. He cannot make a mark. But when I saw him entering Ganta, when I saw him entering in Tapeta, when I saw him entering in Sanikole, I mean, did you see that video? What ran to your mind? Let me go for it. Ja?
Yes, I follow the counselor. Most of the videos I've watched, and even prior to that, a lot of his conferences, his press conference, his visitations at, and the thing that excites me most also is, regardless of the number of people that come to listen to him or to see him for the first time. He embraced it. He embraced them. I saw him when he was in Bikana. I watched him in Tapeta, in Ganta, and in the various places. I think the message is catching on, and I was impressed. And to some extent, even at the turnout of people, um, especially considering that this is his first time declaring to run for the presidency, despite the appeals from the Liberian people over the past years that the councillor should step in the race. So he stepped in the race now, almost at a very late hour. But there seems to be a groundswell of enthusiasm and support that is coming from all walks of life. You know, a place as far as in the remotest part of Sino County, um, in the northern part where I come from, I receive calls day and night. Um, in fact, as I was telling you that the song I wanted you to play, there is a music that is that the some folks have made, and they send those songs to me on just by hearing about the counselor and the work that he continues to do in the country. His commitment to peace, his commitment to the well-being of the Liberian people. So those folks just heard about that, and they have made some. These are people that live in the villages. They met in Greenville, and they were able to produce one of the best traditional music that you will enjoy listening to. So this is the extent we, the Liberian people, appreciate him. But we will not rest on those laurels um, until the final scores are counted on the date of election. So I'm sure the councillor and all of us will continue on. Those of us who are the foot soldiers will continue to reach out to all of our people that this is a true Liberian. This is someone who is going to transform government and transform the country. For too long, those who have service to this country, those who have not shared any sweat for this country, continue to govern it. Those who have not expressed true commitment to the Liberian people, except to fill their pockets with corrupt resources, have been given the opportunity to lead this country. So I'm sure the Liberian people have determined now that look, this is the time of the people, and therefore we will get a four-man lawyer, a man of the people, to be our representative, to advocate for us and to work for us. And I'm sure the counselor is prepared for that. He has expressed it, and he has demonstrated it in his past. Um, as I said again, Councillor Gonglo could have been in somewhere in New York, has a corporate lawyer making a lot of money. He could have been even a corporate lawyer in Liberia, but he chose to be the lawyer of the people. So I am definitely certain that the Liberian people will reward him for that.
Very well. Thank you so much. I mean, that's what we're looking at. Try to get Dr. Doe to come on. There's a guy who been fighting very hard from Liberia, Benjamin. He came on to us. I try to get in, and if I can send him a credit, he wants to come in, really express himself. So we're giving the time. But let me go back to Arthur. Arthur, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Arthur, we talking about credibility here. I mean, maybe you're not very new to the Liberian politics, but working in corporate institution, Firestone, you were involved in a lot of politics, but I know you went to university, some area that politics were practiced, and politics everybody's life. You have not seen Councillor Gonglo, you don't know much about him. I sent you his profile, you read it briefly. We're talking about credibility beyond, short term. We're talking about a man who wants to ensure that justice is served. So when the poor man goes to court with the rich man, it will be saved. We are talking about an era in which education will be free for the under five and healthcare will be free for age 60. He also want to take within, self-reliance in food production, food security, where everybody may not be equally equal because this is not satisfied in life, but at least the bare minimum will be majority of the people be able to fetch for themselves. They will be able to cater to themselves. Do you think we want integrity above selfishness? Looking at what the government is offering our people, where do you stand on that item?
I believe in integrity, and that's one of the reasons why I would like to support his candidacy. Um, Liberian politics, we follow it a bit, but then we are not out there outspoken like others, so we will not be household name. But uh, student politics, I did graduate from the Cottington University College. I was the last elected Secretary General of Coxstar in the mid
Good.
1980s when Samuel Doe banned student politics at the university. I was then Secretary General of the Cotton University College Student Association. So we do follow politics, but we're not one of those who will be out there on every platform making the most noise because that's sometimes the people our folks listen to. I've never worked in government because of integrity. I wanted to be in the private sector working with Firestone. Did I have opportunity to work with government at some point in time? Yes, under Mr. Salif. I had an opportunity while I was in Liberia, but I saw lack of integrity in so many areas. And so I thought not to accept a position. And I volunteered at the Cottington University College Graduate School and taught up to that year, it was 2006. I taught up to the midterm. The late Dr. Nami, he wanted me to assist there because I had gone back to Liberia with the vision of establishing a temporary employment agency just because of the same integrity issue. And everybody wanted you to pay them some money before they would register you, and I just couldn't do it. So I volunteered and taught a course at the graduate school up to after midterm when I had to return to the states to complete my MBA because I was like halfway done through that, and then I went to Liberia to do that. So then I'm somebody who supports people with integrity, and currently we don't see it. There's a vacuum, and we need people of integrity. It's not who makes the most noise or who has the largest crowd behind them. And that's where you mentioned that our people get misled during the time of election with somebody coming and putting money in their pocket, instant gratification. How long is that money going to carry us? You will have food for maybe a couple of days or a week. After that, you're done. Councillor Cooper, who was the senator there in my Give County, when we approached him at one point in time, my organization with the possibility of trying to build a bridge to a parcel of property we had to construct a library. He said, I don't build bridges because people don't, Liberian people don't remember you when you build bridge, right? What they remember is around the election, you gave them a few cups of rice, give them small money in the pocket, and they are going to vote for you. Thank God he lost that election at the time. Because that is his mentality, and that's the mentality of most of the people who have money in their pocket. They think that's how they can use our people. So
Yeah.
we have to be the voice to conscientize our people. They bring the rice, they bring the money, take it. It's your rights and your money that they have that they are recycling.
Right.
But
Mhm.
when you go to that voting booth, vote your conscience. Who am I going to elect that tomorrow I can be able to fend for myself and not wait on people giving me meager resources that I've already labored for one way or another?
That's true. And if I go back to to Dave Jar, that's true. People and I'm experienced person in that areas of reaching out to people to tell them come and vote for this person, come vote for me. They will tell you, say, look, this is our time to eat. And I tell you, there will be competition among or between candidates, either representative, senatorial candidate, presidential candidate. The one with the bigger budget. He's the one that people follow. But do they bend? Have they satisfied their anxiety? No. At the end of the day, they are the one who calling 24/7. Liberia is hard. Things are tough. We are fighting for them. We are saying to them, look, you can get the money today. The money will go. But we want you to be able. Those days, and maybe Jai can tell me, or after you can tell me if I'm lying. People living back home will call you guys or call you and say, can you send me money? Let me finish my house. Nobody will tell you, say, can you send money? Let me buy my bag of rice. But today, people are asking us a lot. Since last night, I did not eat. Where in this world, Liberia is so rich, yet our people, they are living barely on 50 cents. I don't want to say dollar. Some people can't eat sometimes for a whole week. And if they have to eat, maybe the father and the mother will not eat, only the children will eat. That's the kind of information I started getting today. So Liberia is going backward on this platform, even though we're not going to discuss the government because we don't want to be seen as people who want to picture the government black. I want to say this: in as much as President Weah has failed, miserably failed, he has achieved some aspects of life with the Liberian people. You know why? Because it is often said, if you ask for snake, you will get snake. You ask for bread, you will get bread. And we all who voted for President Weah, whether I voted for him or not, we all said he was the savior. We having crisis on our hands right now in Liberia. Serious crisis. Yet the president decided to leave the country in crisis to attend meeting that he would have just done virtual, that he would have just listened and talk. Look, I can't come because my country we're having this issue. But he preferred leaving. One thing that grabs my attention, and I want to bring it here very quickly, maybe some of you guys will say something. Probably it is unconstitutional or it's a constitutional crisis that our president, the spokesperson, Eugene Nagbe, he spoke last night or one few days ago on Spoontalk, like somebody paid an elected president hotel bill in his flight. For me, that was so strange that a president is not even a senator, is not even a head of an organization. I work for a bigger organization back in Liberia, and I know why it means organization sending for you to go to a trip and you will pay. But a president of the republic of a country will say, they pay your flight ticket and they pay your hotel bill, they pay the food. What does that mean to us? Let me go to Ja very quickly. Ja is on mute. Let me see what he.
He's frozen.
Yeah.
Okay, he's frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen. Ja, did you hear my message? Did you hear the narrative?
No, I'm hearing you.
Yeah. So what that suggests to us?
Yes, I mean, I got, I heard that. Well, I mean, first and foremost, also, we are leaving the country or even staying. It a big difference. His presence in Liberia is just like his absence, because this is someone who doesn't inspire the nation through talking to the nation. He doesn't talk to people, but part of leadership is being able to communicate with your people, um, talking to them, because it's true. You do not. Weah doesn't understand how he is looked upon as a role model in that country, and that people look up to him to lead, and that form of leadership is also through communication. So he is the pace setter. I think there are young people, young students that are in the country that are trying to listen to their president, to hear what he's going to say. How is he going to guide this nation? But he has squandered those opportunities. So whether he stays in Liberia or he leaves, it doesn't make any difference. Um, it does, because he's to some extent meaningless. He has abandoned the responsibility of the chief executive of the nation since he was elected. So it really doesn't matter to me, and I don't think it matters that much to the people. And having that, I think in Liberian, maybe in the Liberian statute or in the constitution, there the emolument is not only for the United States. There is an emolument clause in Liberia where you, as a president, you cannot receive any gift worth more than 200 or $250. And the spokesperson had the audacity to get on radio to broadcast that some friends. And that is not the first time. When he got the private jet, he also stated that his friends loan him their private jet, and because of your friend, what is the expectation? So the president of the nation is going around, is being transported around to places of his choice by friends. That itself diminishes the office of the president. Apart from it, it's like bribing him, because the reason why people, most countries have the emolument clause is, look, someone who has done you favor, it is difficult for you to reject them when they request for favor. So if he doesn't understand that, he needs to, even if the person does not come with that intention, but you as a person, you feel consciously guilty if you reject this person who has done you a favor in the past. So these are real serious issues that they are discussing, to some extent a bribe. He's been transported, or his plane ticket was purchased by some individuals or some organization. It's unacceptable, it's unconstitutional, and it even diminishes the office of the president. So I hope the institution that is responsible for serving as check and balance on the powers of the executive and the behaviors of the executive branch will be tough enough, will be astute enough to ask some questions. What is happening in this country? How is this president receiving all these gifts and no questioning that? So I hope the legislative branch will be able to bring that into their discussion. And if they don't do that, I think we, the Liberian people, we should continue to raise the alarms. We should continue to tell the Liberian people about some of the excesses the president is committing, so that they themselves can be aware. Maybe they do not know that presidents should not receive gifts, from outsiders or even from those within the country, and that can compromise the work that he's tried to do for the Liberian people. So I think everyone concerned about that. Don't take that seriously. I think we, the people, should continue to raise the issue.
Very well. Let me welcome Saint Kwan from Minnesota. Saint, how are you, my brother?
Thank you, thank you. I'm sorry I'm late, but
No,
we had some emergency going on upstairs. Sorry. I'm
better
happy
late
to
than
be here.
better late than never. You are here. You just came. You met Ato. Ato is joining us. Just to introduce very quickly, you were here. But saying you've been listening to us, and Dr. Doe is on the line. He will be joining us via phone. We will try to increase our capacity. Right now, we're only paying for 4 slots on the software, so I will have to like add 2 models so we can have 6 person coming at a go. But saying you've been in this, not politics, but you've been around for long. Probably if we look at some of us here, you are among one of the highest in seniority when it comes to age. Have you heard President of the Republic of Liberia been subject to somebody from elsewhere, friends or country, paying their flight ticket to go to international conference? What does that tell you? We're not trying to nasty out the regime. I know they're doing their best. We are people that want people to see us to tell them what our candidate can do. But this is a very serious and sticky issue on the plate of the international table, discussing at all level. Do you think this is healthy for us?
No, and like Sir Jai said earlier, there's actually a law against that. So it is not acceptable when the commander in chief of the country is the one breaking the law, right? There's a constitutional provision or statute that limits how much gift any elected official, including the president, can get. This is not just a matter of behavior, it is a national security issue as well.
Right,
Because to whom much is given, much is expected, right? And
right.
I think it's an African proverb that says, he who feeds the belly controls the man," right?
That's true.
So we want our elected officers to be controlled by our constitution and by the will of our people. not by some rich person someplace that can give them free gifts or that can order them free rides or tickets, right? Because like even as John said earlier, it's nothing for nothing, right? I think they say that in Liberia, nothing for nothing.
Nothing for nothing.
Somebody giving you a free ride that costs several $1,000s, and you're going for several months, and maybe somebody else paying for the hotel. I hear the walk-up ticket, the VIP ticket, is about 5,200 something, right? Now, those people want something back. I mean, ain't nobody giving me a free ride to the World Cup, right?
No.
Nobody giving you a free ride to the World Cup.
There's no free lunch.
It's not like you don't look cute and handsome. They're giving you those free stuff because of the position you have. And there is an expectation that you will use that position to help them in one regard or another. We have that situation obtaining right now in several situations in Liberia. It's going. The people of Liberia know this can happen. This is not new. That when the president or the official, whether it was somebody who was a cabinet member or is the president himself, when they get personally compromised, exhibits itself in the kind of decisions they make and how those decisions are not made for the benefit of the Liberian people, but for the benefit of their friends or whoever it is that has been supporting them. It's common sense. This is wrong. This is illegal, and this should not be accepted, right? It should not be. And even though, Sir John was referring to take it up to the legislature, we need to also hold them accountable. It is their job. Being a representative or a senator is a job, right? And there's a job description that says, if you become a senator, here's what you need to do. If you become a representative, here's what you need to do. And those things are written down, right? So if you're a senator today and you're not concerned that the president is receiving gifts, the hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, if you're in the House of Representatives and you're not thinking about calling a hearing to figure out how this happened against the rules and laws of our country, and we should also take them to task, right? Their job was not to go there and say, oh, this is how things are always done in Liberia. For most of the people we have in the legislature today, they all ran on a platform of change and making things better. Yeah. So if they get there and they want to keep the status quo and want to keep everything the way it has always been, I mean, they're not meeting the expectations of their constituents. And if they're not meeting the expectation of their constituents and they're not doing the job as it is written in the statutes and in the laws of our country, we got to rise up and kick them out of there. Let them know.
That's true. I agree with you, Saint. And that's what I consider Gonglo Ben say. He said, look, when I'm elected, I will ensure that my salary and everything that called about, that I have to render to the state to know my status will be on the internet. I was shocked when they asked him, I wrote about the budget. What was the budget? When it's not in the president, when anybody, government official for that matter, traveling abroad, who's supposed to be sponsored from the state taxpayer money, there will be a budget for flight, for accommodation. I was shocked when he said the president hotel bill will be paid by an individual. The president is our property. For God in heaven's sake, he's our property, our legal property. He's giving himself out to people just like that his hotel bill. So if they can even pay his hotel bill, he's telling us that they can even put together the security that will guard the president. He's not safe. Because if you can just pay my sleeping quarter, then of course my security is in your hand, because it's not just selecting the hotel room, is selecting the kind of hotel, and who determined that hotel? Was it determined by the Liberian people or the people in charge, or was it Eugene Nangbe and the president? This is so shameful. But let me go to Arthur. Arthur, this is where we are today. You live in the Western world. We live here. Live alone Western world. Which African country? Since it happened, I have been reading all of the best practices for almost 5 different countries just to see whether, and I'm talking about tough country, Ghana, Kenya, those other countries. Then I went way down to read about country like Botswana and other. Botswana is now one of the richest country in the world, but country that cannot country that cannot afford, to do much for themselves. I did not find anything on there. Where do you stay, Arthur? You think our country is sinking and sinking very fast? Where are we?
I think it is sinking, and it is sinking very fast, and it takes a couple of us to come together to help to elect the right people who will try to revive this country. Because the thing is, uh, when it's about integrity again, when people know that you stand for nothing, they can quickly compromise you.
Right.
When people know you stand for nothing, look at this country. I was on an exam, and Sam, I'm from I was in Minnesota for 11 years before I moved to Georgia. So I was in Minnesota. It's my home from Liberia. That's the first place I came, 11 years. Then I moved to Georgia. But when I worked with the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis, I was on an exam and I traveled with some of my buddies. We all played golf, and because it was a drive job, we decided to carry our golf bag so that after work we can go and hit the golf course a couple of days. And so we were there. I'm interviewing the bank's president, and the guy is sitting because we try to soften the ground. And I noticed he had trophies around him and some golf memorabilia. So I said, "Do you play golf?" He said, "Oh yeah, I love golf." So I started asking about the nice golf courses not far from the hotel we were staying at. And then he told me, I said, "Okay." Then I will tell my colleagues after work, we'll go and play at least quick 9 holes. And then he asked me, "Can I join you guys to play?" I said, "Yeah, you can join us." He said, "Really? Can I?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Because I was told that the examiners, they can't even allow you to play golf with them. We offer you cookies, you guys refuse the cookies. We offer you soda, you chose to pay for it." So I was, yeah, that's true. You can't even play golf with them. So is that true? People don't play golf with you guys? I said, you know what? People play golf with us. But if we are playing golf, we have to pay our own green fees. We don't allow the bank or the bankers to pay for us. As long as we're paying our own green fees, if you tee up with us, that's fine with us. I said, but sometimes we prefer you not playing with us, because when you play with us and we start to intermingle to that level, maybe you might think that we will be somewhat more favorable to you.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So these people are conscious because they know that this institution stands for something. This is an institution where they say do not accept anything worth more than $20 from anybody. But yet, we don't accept cookies. We don't accept soft drink at the bank. Even if everybody, the first thing when you give us cookie, we ask you if anybody walk into this facility, can they just grab the cookie and eat it? They so now you sometimes, oh no, we made these cookies are just for the examiner. They are so hot, fresh. We said no, we don't accept these things. So just common cookie, people don't take it. But then somebody tells you, I will pay your airfare, I will pay your hotel. You owe them something. It's not for nothing.
President,
It's not
president
free.
of a country.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's not free. You got to pay them back one way or another. And that's why we continue to suffer, because they will indebt us to these people. Then they start paying it at our expense. All of
Mm-hmm.
these businesses these people do in the country, you can't even trace them, where the funds are coming from, how they treat their workers. Nobody can say a word, because what? They have rendered favor to our leaders, and our leaders owe it back to them. So yes, we are fast sinking. And that's why we need to, in every area, conscientize people so that we can put people of integrity in these places who stand for something. Because it's so bad, no accountability. If the president can take those gifts, then how much more about people in those little institutions? I go to
Right.
Liberia, small money like 1,400. Somebody owed me money. They gave me the check. I go to the bank. The guy said, "Wait for me right here," in a little place that he has. He comes back with the money, and then he tells me 1,400. He says I should give him $25. I said, "For what?" He said, "Well, this money, the area I brought you here." I said, "Can you just show me the disclosure so I know that when someone comes in this area to receive this money, they can pay $25? Besides, I never chose to be brought in this area." I said, "Let me just go to the teller. Let the teller give me my money. You told me to sit here. I can go to the teller and get the money. Why do I have to sit in a corner for 1,400? Where is the disclosure?" He had no disclosure to give. Well, that's what we do. I said, "I don't do what you do. Just give me my money before I get annoyed."
Exactly.
This guy can do it
Thank you.
because he's accountable to nobody, or he has seen his bosses do it and nothing happens.
Yeah.
So if we have people like this in our institution,
And
we bound
probably
to
that
fail.
$25 he's collecting through maybe his money being accumulated at the end of the day, he report that to your boss and your boss gave his own. And I
Exactly.
just want to give you, it took me 1 year and 6 months to quiet down. And it was a serious battle. I was on the platform because I have sent money back in Liberia. And normally if you were sending like money through the Western Union, they would tell you the system down. And I grabbed few guys from banks in Basel and in Monroe, and I got the ID card. Somebody scanned it and sent it to me. And I have threatened to make sure that it's out there. It was a big noise. Every banking system in Liberia, the system was going down. But the system can get it when you pay $25.
Exactly.
The system, yeah, when you pay $10.
Very true. Very true.
I threatened somebody. I said, "I will publish your ID card." And I called somebody. I called some of the bank manager. And today, somebody telling me that it reduced a little bit than ever before.
Yeah.
It was
It's still there.
It's still there, but at least it minimized it a little bit more. $100 would be 25, 200 would be 50, 500 would be 100. What's the nonsense? But before I go to Dave, before I go to you, let me see if
let me say something before you go to Dave. You were talking about
go ahead.
Transparency with the Tiawan Gonglo's platform, and well, transparency is what we're talking about now. But the strength of that platform starts with plank number 1, which is just the rule of law. Liberia has all these laws on the books. It's just that nobody following them. You understand? So it's like what he said. When Tiawan had asked me, when he called and told me he wanted to run, I asked him why. So there's a lot of us been asking you all these years to run, and you always said no.
You were not prepared.
Yeah. He just said no. No, he said Liberia was not prepared for somebody like him. And then I said, so when he called and said he wanted to run, I said, why? And then after he explained why he thought Liberia was ready for a transformational leader, somebody with integrity, he told me this. This is exact words. He said, listen, I've been fighting to straighten out this system from the bottom up my whole life. But as long as the president was corrupt, we can fight for the rest of our lives. It will not change. Because when the president is the one breaking the rules, right? The ministers don't have to keep the rules.
No.
If the ministers are not keeping the rules, if they are breaking the rules, then the people that work under them don't have to follow it. If the bank manager, like we're talking about the bank, if the people that work for the bank have seen the bank manager treat people preferentially, if you slip something small to the bank manager, he will treat you preferentially. Then the people that work for the bank, you slip me something small too, I will treat you preferentially because they've seen the manager do it. So he said, if we have a president that follow the rules, right? There is a rule that says president can't get free ride out of the country. I think there must be another rule that says president can go out of the country for 2 months, right? Maybe, I'm not sure about that one, right? There's a rule about how much free things the president can get. And if the president does not follow the rules, nobody will, right? There's a precedent that say people at my guild, they're supposed to go to court by now. suspending them or firing them was not sufficient. Take them to court because according to our rules, they're still innocent until proven guilty. Now, they're refusing to take them to court because then they can stay in this gray area and still be qualified to run because they're not yet criminals, right? So if you see the government is bending all the rules, then there is no momentum, there is no impetus, there is no reason why the common man should follow the rules. You see that every part of Liberia. You go to Freeport, you go to the banks. I mean, you're talking about money transfer. When I was recently there, I have a savings account, my own money. I went there and said, hey guys, I don't remember my account number. They say, where's your password? I give it to them. They went in the system, they found my account. They say, oh, but it's inactivated because there was no activities for a while. I said, what do I have to do to activate it? They said, go see the other people over there. And when I talked to them, they activated my account. And I said, okay, I want $400 out of my account. How do I get it? They said, system down. Right?
The system weren't down when you were activating.
No, the very system they went in, they found my account, they went in and activated the account, but trying to give me the money, the system down. And I told them, I said, listen, guys, the kind of system I'm used to, we give something called tip, right? Mm-hmm. When you do something good and the person feel good,
they give you something.
It's called tip. They're not corruption. But your own thing where you're demanding before you even do the work that you are being paid for. They pay you every month to say, to give me my money, my own money. Then you demand for me to pay you before you give it to me. I will not do that. Right? If you had given me my money first, I feel good, I say, oh, the other person is different. Then I give you something, that's a tip. But the demand for me to give you something before you give my money, I think maybe God don't want me to eat the money today. I left it there and I walked away. But that's something, in fact, before I walked away, I demanded to see the manager of the bank in Sincor. He came outside. They delay me. They won't let me see him. He said he was busy. And then when I know he was coming outside, I said, hey, Chief, I've been waiting here to see you for a long time. I got some money in the bank. I just want to withdraw it. He said, any people take the system down?
Like the manager speaking to you.
This was the manager. He said, the people take the system down. And, you think when you come from America, the rules don't apply to you? That was the bank manager talking to me, who have a deposit in his bank, right?
Customer service.
So if the manager, I mean, my perception was, okay, the whole system down thing, a part of a management system. Because I didn't report to him yet, and I don't know how he knew that the people told me the system was down.
That information.
Yeah, unless he knows, like, whenever you go to withdraw, system can be down until something drop
before the system go on. Okay, let me go to Dave. Dr. Kwane Doe here. Dave, I will come. Dr. Doe, how are you? We're sorry you're not on today, but you are here.
That's okay, very well. I'm doing very fine. Mm-hmm. It's good seeing my colleagues there, Dr. Kwan, Sir Dave Jah, also wonderful seeing Arthur William, who I met several months ago at the BASA meeting here in Atlanta. I think it was in April or May.
Okay.
We're planning to have Consular Gongo visit Atlanta.
Okay.
Good to see all of you.
Right. Yeah. You following the discussion. Do you think Councillor Gongo is a formidable candidate, or do you think he's achieving his goal? Where do you stand on that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He's formidable. Now, what has been going on here is that those who are opposed to Councillor Gongo, when he received his petition in I think last year December, they said he was not a factor. He was not a known quantity. And the next thing they said is that the man is not known. The next thing they said was that, oh, he doesn't have money. And then, several polls have been conducted. I don't know who's conducting these polls in Liberia. Several of them have come up to say, oh, the man, he doesn't even appear on the poll. But in the last 2 months, much as they try to minimize the formidable nature of Councillor Gonglo, they are now talking about him. Oh, he's the pollsters, the so-called Liberian pollsters. I don't know who they are, but it seems like these pollsters are being financed by some political groups in Liberia to sell certain candidates, to make certain candidates look good. Like it's been happening right here in the United States right now. People are manipulating polls to make others look good and to try to diminish and minimize the political relevance of others. How can you diminish or minimize the relevance of Councillor Gonglo? This man who's been a public servant for more than 35-40 years, starting as a student leader, a social advocate, then a practicing lawyer, to say, oh, this man is not known. Nobody knows him. But, he should run as second or vice president as running mate to somebody else who's well known. But the record is there, a very incorruptible record of Councillor Gonglo. It is there. Then again, just recently I heard one of the principal spokesperson for the regime, the current regime, I think some guy called Eugene Nangwe. Everybody apparently know Eugene Nangwe. He is a propagandist for the regime, trying to badmouth Councillor Gonglo. That Councillor Gonglo performance in the government was not relevant. Councillor Gonglo was engaged in incorruptible act. I mean, we can't even make a moral equivalency Eugene Nangwe to Councillor Gonglo. There's nothing there in terms I heard Brother Arthur speak about integrity. There's just nothing there to compare. This Eugene Nangwe, a role politician and a propagandist of the regime. Everybody know he has no loyalty to anybody. Any regime that comes around, he rolls with that regime. He rolls with it. From the days of Tiana, we know that he's a rebel. And I hope the listening audience is there listening. This man is a rebel. He has no credibility at all. Not an iota of credibility to talk about the credibility of someone with such, enviable character like Councillor Gonglo. But again, they are getting afraid because Councillor Gonglo now is emerged. They see him as the most, if not the most formidable character in this race. They see the wind that is behind his back. They see that wind, and they are beginning to talk now. Say, damn, this guy, we have to pay some attention to him. The rural politician, McGill started that, and he was put in his corner. Now they're sending out Eugene Nangwe to run with this. And again, he too will be put in his corner. Here's a man who is commissioner of the Maritime Authority in Liberia, makes about $20,000 to $30,000 a month. What kind of moral foundation can he stand on to talk about Councillor Gonglo? He has no moral foundation at all. Again, as I said, Councillor Gonglo is the only one now that is getting to them. He's the only one that has been outspoken about the ills in the society, pointing out how corrupt this regime is. So it is getting to them now. They feel compelled to come out to say they're going to attack him. And that would just fall on deaf ears because the decent people of Liberia know that this man is a decent man. He's a decent man all his life. All his professional life, personal life has been clean cut. He's been a clean cut. He's not a perfect man. But if you look at his public service record, it is clean cut. Nobody can challenge that. Absolutely nobody can challenge it. Wherever he served, whether he has served as Solicitor General of Liberia, when he served as Minister of Labor, everywhere Councillor Gongo has served, when he left the Ellen government based on principles. I heard Eugene Nabi talking about, the man was fired. He was never fired. Ellen took a position. Ellen could not be decisive. She wanted to make some changes in her government, and she asked everybody to resign. All her ministers to resign. I'm the first time hearing that kind of thing. I've checked, like you, I want to research that. My country asked all their ministers to resign, and after she decided to reappoint a new administration, came to Gongo and asked Gongo, can you serve in this capacity as some post and telecommunication? The man said, no, on principles, I cannot. And we know he's been speaking out about the corruption and nepotism that was taking place under the Ellen Sirleaf regime. He was one of the few people who was speaking out about it. And he took the position. I cannot serve I cannot take your position. I'm sorry. I'm going to quit. And he resigned. And Mr. Eugene Namwe, the propagandist, mouthpiece of the regime, talking about the man was fired. He was never fired. He was never fired at all. I know I've said too much, but
no, you have not. In fact, you have one before I go, Dr. Doe. Before I go to we were also looking at the same Eugene Nangwe who said that Councillor Gongo was fired, and he was saying a whole lot of things. He was on the same spoon talk, and he was telling the world that his president, his boss, left the country, was traveling, and he, according to what we heard, he will be traveling for 2 months plus. When we're having issue on strategic direction of our country, when we're talking about where we will have to rest the case with, some significant variable indicators that will tell the world that we have population that can be sustained and where they are following the election and following the newly established a platform, the biometric. He left that, but he decided to take gift from people, not just to pay his flight ticket according to Eugene Namwe, but to pay his hotel bill and to pay the hotel bill of all those traveling with him. Where does that happen in this world?
I don't know where that happens. I think I heard many of my colleagues speak to that. It just reveals the nature of this regime. They have no principles. They have no anything that comes the way they accept it. I can hear Mr. Namwe speak to the fact that some group or one sheik in some Arab country was underwriting that. It just shows, it's simple matters that they make so complicated, and they think they can get away with it because they can spin it. They can play with words and play on the mentality of our people. I think if Nangwe had come out or Weah had come out to say, look, I'm making this official trip. But after this trip, I want to go and see my son play in the World Cup. This is his first time. I'm telling you, knowing the nature of Liberian people, they were embraced it. But the man's son going play World Cup now the first time. Can we allow him to go see his son to play? But they try to spin the thing all over. He couldn't even answer the question, who is paying for this trip? Who's going to be, when you go to FIFA, who's going to be paying for that? You are a government nation. So and you're a president of the country. Every move you make is being underwritten by the taxpayers of Liberia. But lying for them is just second nature. It just comes so easily. I'm making this trip. I'm going to the climate change conference in Egypt. After that, I'll make one or two other officials. And then after that, I want to go see my son playing football. He's coming after me. I never had a chance to go play in the World Cup. He got all the accolades, playing soccer. But we never went to the World Cup. That's the one thing he never did. but his son came after him. He should be a proud father. But he couldn't even say that. Then they didn't even say, they didn't publish, and I heard you, Papa, say that. They didn't publish the budget that was allocated for this particular trip. They did not publish that. And then they also did not say he couldn't say how many people are on this trip. Just like they did the United Nations trip, when they had about 30 people on that trip, wasting government money. Something that Councillor Gonglo will never do when he assumed the presidency of Liberia. Because he's all about transparency, he's all about accountability. He's not going to engage in waste. That's a waste of government resources. Why would you take 30 people with you to the United Nations? And I can bet you on this current trip, he's going. Because he's always traveled with a delegation of not less than 25 people. Just imagine per diem, paying lodging, all of these kinds of stuff. It's a waste of government money. They threw out some kind of figure that they say is $1 million or $1.5 million budget they're operating on after they were pushed and pushed and pushed. But we don't know why you didn't publish it on the Executive Mansion website. Publish it on the Executive Mansion website. Something that Councillor Gonglo will do when he begins to fight corruption in that country. And he said over and over, I would be so transparent that even my salary will be published on the website. It will be published in the newspapers. It will be published in every public space so that people can see it with their two eyes.
Okay, Dr. Joe, I know you are on the phone. We'll let you go briefly while you watch it, but I want to go back to Ja. We have like 15 more minutes to close this section. But before I go back to the next segment, guys, we want to make this thing as regular as possible. You know what? What we're saying today, there are a lot of people that may not understand what we're saying right now. Because our people have said they wanted the show to come on at least 3 p.m. Liberian time. Many of them have been read this because they said when you guys are on, we are already sleeping. And some of them are watching them on our monitor here. You will not find them here. But they have said that they want to come on. So and I thought let me appeal to you and Ja and Dr. Pan. If we have 4 persons here every week discussing the issue, just to let you know, we have 2 radio stations that will be relaying this program maybe next week, one in Nima and one in Maryland. We're making an arrangement, we're finalizing with them. It requires some funding, but we found out how we can sponsor it. It will be in our interest because there are things that our people need to listen to. We are opposition, but we are not a very, clandestine opposition that want to speak lies and because we want power, we want people to understand where we stand with where we are. But let me go to Ja. Ja, I know you will be waiting to come today. I just call you and you are here. But tell me in few words, where is Lespace in the hope? Lespace is supporting Gonglo. You are in various counties as of now. You're going from house to house, knocking the doors, going on the farm, reaching to the schools. Are we making progress with where you are? Mr. Ja.
Yes, yes, I think we are making progress. Though progress may be slow due to some constraints, but I believe we are making progress. Let's Liberia first super committee. The team gone into the Liberia First Super Political Action Committee, and our commitment to the candidacy of Councillor Gonglo remain firm. So in operations right now, we are operating in in Grand Bassa, in Granada, and some parts of Masurado County, as well as the district number 1 in Bong County. Those are the places in which we are operating. And what we do is building cells, setting up coordinators in the various districts, and also training foot soldiers that will take the Gonglo to the towns and the villages and this is the process that we have been engaged in. We use the resources that we have and try to provide medium of transportation and mediums of communication to the people. We print some flyers, some brochures. We will be distributing populations of those areas, just informing them and educating them about this man called Tiawan Gonglo. Um, and this is what Litzbach is engaged in formation. We continue to call on all Liberians that believe in the transformation of Liberia. Um, part of the problem that we have here is when you speak to look, he's a man of integrity. We think he can do a good job. And then the next thing is, but he does not have money and all of that. They will say that. I say, but so are you knowing all of that? This person has integrity. Has demonstrated transparency in his past. His records is there to show you that he cares about this country. This is someone who, at the peak of the war, decided to go back to Liberia after escaping into exile. He decided to return to Liberia just to fight for peace at the peril of his life. And if he can do that in those dark days, and even has a human rights lawyer sacrificing the little resources he will have, um, if you know that this person will go for Liberia, because what we really want is a functioning and enabling country. Once Liberia begins to function well and become an enabling society, all of us will have the opportunity to better our lives. We don't have to take handouts. You don't have to be subjected to that beggar's person mentality that the women and even previous governments have subjected. Country is incapable of providing. But this time around, when Liberia is transformed, you yourself, you will be in the position to pay your own children's school fees. And you are saying you want to support this person because he doesn't have money. Others didn't have money, but people supported them. And we, the Liberian people now, have decided, yes, this is a true man of principle and character. Therefore, whatever it takes, we will support him, we will support this cause because enough is enough. And this is what LISPAC and other institutions have been back upon, that we will use our own resources, we will reach the towns and the villages to promote this man so that Liberia can become a better, emotional, and more vibrant and enabling society so that you, regardless of where you come from, regardless of where you live, regardless of your last name, you will have a fighting chance in this country. Because for too long, those people, those corrupt elements of our society have stolen elections, have stolen your rights, they have squandered the chances that you have given them. So this time around, we want to elect someone whose track record is there, someone who has advocated for you. Sometimes it's difficult to go against your own conscience, to go against your own values and your principles. It's difficult to do that because this man has preached these things. He's preached against corruption. He has preached against the abuse of human rights, the abuse of powers. Now he's going to practice it in his own. He's going to apply those things, those principles, and we have things to hold him to. That hey, you can't escape this. These were heritage you spoke against. So we will bring you to book. And some conscience, he will recognize that. And this is why LISPAC and other institutions are fully supporting the candidacy of Councillor Long. And we are in there for the long haul. We will continue. We are committed to this process and we will continue to see its end.
Thank you very much, David. And I meant to say that because there are a lot of people. We have the group ambassador too. And thank you, Sam. We did a very good contribution. The last time the team was in district number 3. And we have decided to conduct 3 meetings, one on Compound 3, and one in Basigiatan, and one in Surutan. Early December. We're looking out there and we are mobilizing a lot of people from Basel who are coming on board. We spoke to over 5 persons today. We'll supplement or we'll complement whatever that's been done by other groups. The good thing about Councillor Gonglo, team is that we are now planning to adapt a district. And we want people, and I like how Giles said it, they are in various districts sensitizing people. Once we all can coordinate and work together, I think one thing I know of, Gonglo can win this election. We should not doubt it because you know what? The process is on. All the noise we're hearing behind the scene, those are noise. You will continue to hear the political noise, but the reality, the people who feed in the pinch, if we can tell them that if you gamble your lives, tomorrow you will blame yourself. A lot of people watching us from our monitor and they are making some comments here. The people are looking for leaders. Before then, leaders were looking for people. In Liberia, the people are looking for leaders. You saw what happened in Tapeta. 8 o'clock, those people were in the street dancing. When I listened to what happened, when I watched what happened in Sanikole, it wasn't easy. Leave alone Ganta. So the marker of people say no one knows Councillor Gonglo. I know very well that after his trip in the state, if he gets back and he starts to hit the ground running, politician will be in trouble. And I like how Giles said it. We're not looking for number 2 position in the government. We're looking for number 1 position. You know what? Because when you're not in charge, you can't say what you want to say. When you are not out there, you have to barely beg for somebody to improve. It's like you are the deputy supervisor and you have the managing director. To get to the managing director, you got to pass to the deputy managing director. Sometimes your proposal will get stuck right there. Maybe your plan will never even reach the managing director. But we are making effort. But we have at least 50 more minutes, less than 50 more minutes. Let me go to Arthur, and I want to close on this. Arthur, you are just coming. Arthur? Yeah, you just come in for the first time, and Jai, you are here. Is there any possible way that we can at least modify our time? 6 o'clock is a bit late in Liberia. Is there any way? Because this can't be my decision. It has to be the decision of the team. I want this team to be as regular as possible, bringing in other people to be able to, disseminate this information. Is there any schedule that you guys are looking out to? 6 o'clock could be late. I thought, Sunday is a day of feminine, activity. So that's how we put it as Sunday. Is there anything that we can elevate a little bit more? Let me start first from Arthur, who just come in.
For me, I'm flexible on Sundays, other than because worship is normally by 1 o'clock. I'm out of church. Anytime after 1 on Sundays is fine for me. Anytime on Saturday is fine for me. I don't work weekends. I don't work Mondays. So I'm flexible when it comes to Sunday. One of the things I was thinking about, I've never used this platform before. It's the first time. I don't know how I was even able to get on. That was good. But I was wondering what are this? How can this platform take a couple of more people, or whether we can use a platform that is flexible to accommodate. If we have it earlier and we have participants from Liberia, something that they can easily, log into, and we can chit chat with them as well. I don't know whether that's something that will be considered.
The possibility,
my first time, but
we can get up to 8 persons on the platform. But it is being paid for. It's now one of the free platforms. So I've been running it for like a year. I've been running the actual platform for 5 years. That normally we lead, like people in Liberia will listen to it via the audio. but I have to stop that. So as soon as I can increase the monitoring, they will increase the space. That's what this is. This is what we call yard stream. It is paid for, so it's not free. So we have 4 persons here now. We can get up to 8 persons according to what I know. So I will contact them tomorrow to see. And again, once we can have the time a little bit sooner than today, we have about 5 Liberians that wanted to come on. Then you might try, you could not come, the other guy try. Even if they cannot come on video, they can speak to us via audio. You know, like right now, we need somebody to be telling us what happening to Gonto in the field. We want to know. We want the feedback. People in Nima, the Nima radio station supposed to carry this today, but I couldn't get the guy. I tried to contact him. I think internet was very difficult. So that at least people in Nima can know that we are concerned, because you know our words and their words put together can make a lot of I mean, it can give a lot of picture of how we think about Gonglo, because the people on the ground, they are the one that are going to vote. We are not voters, but we are vote makers. So let me go to Saint Juan. Saint Juan, sometimes he's traveling. He say, I will send somebody else, and he's saying, ja. But let's see. Even if we can be 4, if we can be 3 regularly, how do that? How would that work, Saint Juan, Dr. Juan?
I can tell you, maybe like 2 p.m. Central Time will be perfect. Sundays are like, I think I start with the talk shows and meetings from 1 p.m. all the way till 10 p.m. So I have another one like in 3 minutes. That's 8 minutes now. So, but if you were to start yours early, I can say there's a fair chance that I will be consistent on it. And 2 p.m. will be a good time. And then you can check on it and see how much it's going to cost to increase the display to 6 persons, and then let's see how we can work it out. I was going to piggyback on the message earlier. It's like, okay, the president matters, right? I think it was Dave John, out of frustration with the current president, said, hey, people don't even notice whether he's present or absent. So the absence really won't have an impact, because if a president doesn't, we can remember the last time the president had a press conference. We can remember the last time he had a nationwide address live that was not tape recorded. We can remember any of those things. So, like he was saying, his absence and his presence really makes no difference, right? But it does, right? You see a lot of chaos, a lot of sense of frustration. You see a lot of no sense of direction in the country, because the president is not setting one. Just imagine having a president, Tiawan Gonglo, who actually goes to work every day, or maybe even on the weekend when he has something that needs to be done, right? Look at the dedication he's going through. I think some of you are following the county-wide tour he's on. When he was in Bond County, he went places in Bond County that even the representatives for that district have never reached. The senators for the county have never gone. He went there. Because if he says, I'm going to this county, he's not just going to the capital city. He's going to every village, every town in that county, and wants to meet those people. That's how dedicated this guy is. When he visited the last time, I picked him up from Ohio. And we were driving. I said, let's do a drive and let's see the rest of the country in the Midwest. And then right about 4 a.m. our time, he said, man, can I get a hotspot on your phone? I'm like, well, let's just listen to music. He said, no, I'm still teaching my class at LU, right? So while he was here and we were on the highway driving, he was able to still log on and help conduct his class at the place. So that even in his absence, the presence was still felt, right? So now imagine this. If we say the president is the vision setter, imagine a Liberia where everybody goes to work on time and then stays to work for the 8 hours that they have been paying for. How long will it take for us to actually be developed? Not long. It's a small country.
Very small
It's just that
country.
people who's supposed to be working don't go to work. Or when you got a president that goes to work at 11 and leaves at 2. So then the whole group that goes with him, they all go at 11, they all leave at 2. Right?
And when he's not there, nobody goes to work.
You know that. Right? And I'm old enough to remember when Tolbert was president, he got there at 8. And then once in a while, he would just decide to visit any ministry. At 8 a.m., if the minister wasn't there when you came to office, you saw the president in your office. For some people, if he didn't fire you that day, they never came late again. You understand? Mm-hmm. So it's like the president sets an example. And if you have one that's just lackadaisical, no wonder the whole country is going that way. So like Dave Jai was saying, you don't need a government that will give you stuff to eat. You don't need a government that says, I'll pay your children tuition. You need a government that will empower you to feed yourself and to pay your own children tuition. You need a government that will empower you to have vision so that tomorrow, even if you yourself can make it to a better tomorrow, your children will not suffer the same thing you're suffering today. That will not change until we as the people change first. But I was encouraged when he was in Tapeta. Because then, besides what you're talking about, the people standing that entire day to wait, during the program, one of the dignitaries got up and said, listen, we've always expected something from our leaders. They always got to give us money here and there. And he's been traveling around the world. He said that thing is not good. Because the people that gave the leaders those money, those are the people that own the leaders. But this tier one guy, we want to own him.
You want to own him, that's true.
So instead of him giving us money, I ain't got too much, but I'll buy 1 gallon of gas for the tour. Yes. I mean, you should have seen me down here jumping like the message is getting there. People are hearing it. And then by the time he did it, he called on the whole congregation. They said, listen, man, I know we ain't got plenty. But even that $5 Liberian dollar said, now, what do you think if Tiawan was to get some kind of leadership position tomorrow, President? You think when the people on top of that call him? You'll say, no. They bought him gas for the tour. What if every town he goes in, every village he goes in now, say instead of you giving 2 for 5 lapa,
we are responsible.
We'll buy gas for their campaign because we're looking to be the person that you are indebted to when you win, so that our interest will be your interest, our concern will be your concern, and our future will be your burden. The message is sinking. So if you want us to come in a little early, that will be better for me as well. And I think the 2 p.m. slot is still open. And if there's any way we can help disseminate it, we will do that, because the message is sinking. It's getting in there. People are catching it. And once we get the momentum, we got to keep it up until 2023 October.
Sure. Let me hear from Jaffra. Let's start with the time factor. I know you have a lot of things on your plate, but I mean, you are one of those persons with David Ja. Dave is okay.
Yes,
you have a lot of things on
your plate. We're in our meeting.
We are working people who want to make this
who
as possible
in America.
Yeah. So I want you to tell us, will you fit in the 2 o'clock? Or can you send somebody? Can you people swap?
Okay, yeah. Yes, if I'm not in a position, I can, send someone to represent.
Okay.
2 should not be available. Yesterday we had some requests to change the day to Sunday from Saturday for our meeting, but that hasn't been finalized. So 2 o'clock should be a good time.
Okay.
Well, you said what? 2 Central or
time.
2 Eastern?
Yeah, 2 Central. 2
Central,
Central
it
will
works
be
for
3
me.
p.m. your time.
2 Central
Yeah,
time, yeah.
3 p.m. is fine for me too.
So that'll be 3 for. Okay, that'll be 3 for us. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And
Okay. Yeah. That is
and then
likely today. Yeah, it will do.
it will be 7 o'clock Liberian time. That will be better than 10
Mhm.
o'clock, 11 o'clock, because people will be going to bed. They don't have that kind of luxury like time, stuff like that. At least 1 hour, 30 minutes, or 1 hour the most. Once we can discuss what we want to discuss, and then we can chit chat. But at least we want Liberian people, our
Yeah.
guys on the field, I want them to be coming to this forum. So we cannot just be financier, but we should be able to integrate the discussion, and then they can give their input. But thank you, Ja. Aita, we close here on your last word quickly. Very well. Since you are here for the first time, the Gongo movement is moving on. I don't care what happened. As somebody has said, we stand with integrity. As far as I'm concerned, Gongo going to beat. I'm very sure. Somebody will ask me, where are your representatives? Where are your senators? You leave her alone. You won't carry a senator job. We won't take Gongo there. You should sit at the head. We're not looking for second place, third place, first place. Gongo should be our first place. Aita.
And I agree. I agree with you. I couldn't agree more that yes, he needs to be, because it starts from the top. Okay, if the leader is transparent, the leader has integrity, the leader sets the standard, then it flows down. But once that leadership is not there, then it becomes a problem. So, and that's why I admire the fact that Councillor Gonglo has decided at this time that he wants to step to the helm of the leadership. So uh, I'm flexible with my time. Meeting 3 p.m. is fine for me. I want to be committed to the cause of Councillor Gonglo, going straight through. We know that everybody say he doesn't have money, but it's not money that's going to do it. We got to be sincere to ourselves, right?
Sure.
Who do we want to be there? Somebody can come and give us all of the money, flash all of the money now. They will get it back from us. Eventually, if they have no integrity, when they become president, we start paying for it. So somebody like Congo who has the country at heart, and he's willing to help even those who cannot be helped by anyone else, is somebody whose candidate I would love to support. And whoever is at the helm of the leadership here when it comes to the councilor's campaign. If you can reach out to me, or you can give me a number that I can reach out to you, I would like to make a monthly commitment to the campaign, and I can live with that commitment up to the time that elections are over.
Thank you very much.
If we
Thank you
all
very
can
much.
commit something, small here and there, we can make it happen. And whenever I have the opportunity to go to Liberia, if there's anything I can do to spread awareness, I'll be willing to do that. I'm from the Firestone area, Cotton Tree, Magibi County. That's my area. I'm in Liberia. Every February, I'm in Liberia because I co-sponsor a golf tournament in Liberia, and I do have the first tee golf program there for the children as well. So they look forward to seeing me every February to run that program. So I'm in Liberia every February. If I can do anything in that Cotton Tree area, be of any help, I'm willing to do that, to spread the news, to help to
I
empower people
appreciate that.
to spread the word around, because we have our own following there, because I was born over there. Okay,
Sure.
and I
Yeah.
lived all my life around there before I came to the States. I'm
And
almost
that's
always
why
there every year.
we are pushing for this adapting districts and things, because we're not millionaire, but we make it happen. We're not millionaire, so we need a strategy. We need people to, and I'm very happy that you're coming on board. I spoke to Dr. Bay and other people today. Very soon we'll be calling a meeting to see how we can consolidate the entire look. For me, and this is not secret. I know the CDC people can take it wrong
Is
with
it
it.
Dr. Gopher Bear?
Yeah,
Okay, okay,
yeah.
that's my senior brother.
Yeah, he must say he was when he was doing his doctorate degree at Doklati. I was studying physician assistant, so we used to work together. So I
Okay,
talked to him. He said he was giving. So I will talk to him, and then we'll push the agenda. I have seen people out in the field in district number 3, and that's why I want for Lisbon everybody to be equal. That has about 65,000 eligible voter impact. So that's a bigger district.
mhm.
When we can go to that district and we can get granted. Without any ado, I have a house in the district. I build when I can get that house off for people to sleep inside free of charge until I can do whatever. It had 3 rooms, well located at the St. John brand. It's not furnished, but at least it has 3 rooms and a big living room. We can use it to explore Slough Town, Desoon Town, Clinton, the bigger area. Once we can get that bill with the lock in, then we can start thinking about district number 2, district number 5. Then we can start thinking about Bone County. We start thinking about Maserati is a kind of rare state, as you guys know. So we need those counties that we can make part. But I'm very glad that Ja and his team, they are making tremendous effort in all of the district. All we need to do now is to consolidate and coordinate where how we can be able to complement each another one. Otherwise than that, I'm very happy that we are here today. We'll be here Sunday. I used to be in New York, but I finally moved in Philadelphia yesterday, currently at my brother's house here. So I will be here in Philip, where I will be securing a job. So let's have this thing done. Dave, thank you for all you do. Sankpan and Arthur, thank you for coming on board. All those are supporting the Gonglo movement. Your name will be recorded in the book of fruit history. I can tell you, this is not, I'm not breaking, but everyone that sees Gonglo, they see him as the light. Even the current day politician, the past politician, they are very much afraid. You know why they are afraid? Because this is man that's not biting his mouth. He says, if you corrupt, we arrest you, we'll put you in jail. He's not telling us what he's going to. It's not like, I don't know what we'll do with you. You say, when you corrupt, we will put you in jail. We'll turn you over. We'll seize the property. You think people in like that kind of information? They don't want to hear it. That's why they are pushing back. But I know a lot of people who are suffering, those that are enjoying, they are very happy to hear it. And those common people, we have to reach their doors. We got to go to the front. We got to talk to them. So thank you for coming. Ja, your last word. Dave.
Oh, thank you very thank you very much. But it has been a pleasure in these discussions. We are in our group, we are committed to the Gonglo movement, and we will do the best that we can within our powers to support this. For too long, Liberia has been taken for a ride. People get away with impunity. They can do whatever they want. They can leave the country, go on a safari, whatever, expedition, and they return to Liberia, and there are no consequences. People steal the little resources the country have, and there are no consequences. They go with impunity. People cause chaos, wars, divisions in the country, and there are no consequences. Liberian people and we were true advocate and a persecutor in the executive mansion to persecute all the nonsense that has been going around and restore Liberia's credibility. So I am willing to participate in whatever discussion in promoting the candidacy of Councillor Gonglo. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting with all Dr. Kwan. We've met before. Our brother Arthur, it was a pleasure meeting you for the first time. And we hope to have these exchanges more so that we can get Liberia on the right path. Thank you again, and may you all be richly blessed.
Thank you. Let me do Dr. Doe justice, even though he's not physically here. But Dr. Doe, we are closing up. We have, just revised our time schedule to 2 p.m. By consensus, we'll start 2 p.m. this time around. But your last word quickly in a few minutes.
Well, thank you so much. And again, it's wonderful being on the platform with several of my colleagues as well. I'm very involved with the MASA project for Gonglo. So, what my schedule is, my flexibility, 2 p.m. will definitely work for me.
Okay. On Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday's fine. 2 p.m. That's Sunday. Okay. Yeah.
Dr. Doe, are you in Atlanta here?
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta. We met what?
Yeah, at the meeting at the Mema's house.
I live in Atlanta. I'm in the Darville, Dunwoody area. That's where I am. Yeah, but I will reach out to you though. I'll reach out to you, Arthur.
Yeah, please do. Okay.
Okay. Thank you guys. But Ja, don't forget to send me music from wherever you got it from. I don't know how you managed to adapt that. Bring that music so we can play it. Okay, then. Good night, guys.
I will do it.
Thank you for the
All
invite.
right. Thank you,
Have a
man.
blessed
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
All right, guys.
In comparison to other African countries that are in fact much younger.
Well, wherever you are watching, or this is the Basel Premium program, the program watching is what? A better Liberia is possible. A better Liberia is possible. It's only possible when you are involved. Don't sit back. Join the Gonglo movement so we can do the best thing. My name is Kapa Wowo, and I have 4 persons here with me today. Saint Kwan, I have here Aita, and I have here Ja. We'll be here 2 p.m. on Sunday. I see you because you are worth it to be here. Thank you so much, and share this video. Share this to all those in your contact. Thank you so much.
He was born 1956, August 6, in Liberia. Nima Kante, to be specific, there is of the edition number 9. The councillor is married with 3 children. Fellow listener, if you are from Grand Chile Kante, Lofa Kante, Apolu, Magibi, and all other counties within Liberia, this is a poor man lawyer. He's down to earth. Consider Tawan S. Anglo. He is here to help us. He loves human beings.
Demo consider Estia one Pogre, I'm not a blessing you, Obrobi, and I don't give a coach again. To Laro and you blow, to Laro you practice some. So la Piranoi, Mama, Tida, I get point. The Aqua Boy, I get consider S. Mogorepo, say, what are you blessing to Obrodi? I'm not glad that you blow the year, brought the same as what they need. Some of the other poor. And I do, I'm not do, you will only bring you, Eddie, you will guarantee that. You will not consider Estia one Pogre. And I do, I'll be on that blessing you. Watching your girl, nobody only when you saw some. If you money do, then if you money do. Hanadio, cause I had nobody there. In there, I'm blessing and deal anyway. Hanadi. I'm blessing with that general. No, I blow your general. No, I blow, move when I get you. It's holy water. Cause I am no glory. Hanadio, Yagablo, Yagadio, Yables, Yage, Indiana. I want to be like I'm one. Councillor, I want else go.
Oh, you play by a plan to be here. You know, say you go. I'm the only say you go. You know, say you go. I'm the only say you go. You know, say you go. I'm the only say you go. Tiawana yo. Tiawana yo. La bien yo me tiawana yo. You know, say you go. Abriano ne seliko, ire, mune, moire. Ahora, mío, te voy a comprar una aquí. Caíme, ahí pegado, ahí me hace huele.
Me duele que no, cano le gazo, libérate, me duele galo. Pielico. Saka. Okoneka komera. Ya wa go. Amayibo. Wasa. Ya go no babi aski. Larugo. Zup. Me duele galo.
Say,